Detroit guy, Michigan guy.
I would argue low risk, potentially high reward.
He was a red zone threat. He was a red zone weapon. Devin Funchess catching a touchdown, going, hitting the blade Icewood.
This is the sign that it's different. Detroit Lions made a move.
Oh, no.
They signed Devin Funchess.
no.
Everybody, let's go crazy.
Okay, and I want to break this down real quickly before we really get into the specifics. With Devin Funchess, this man hasn't played since 2019, and I get it. I'm excited
Since that one game in 2019.
I was going to get there. One game in 2019, played for the Colts. Before then, had pretty productive seasons with the Panthers. Obviously, you're excited because, number one, he's a local guy, Metro Detroit native. Played tight end through high school, played tight end a little bit at Michigan, but came out as a receiver. So obviously, he has familiarity with playing tight end. I just think people, when they see this, like in my eyes, I look at it like there's more pass catchers for Jared Goff. I'm okay with that. If you look at the tight end depth with the Detroit Lions, it's absolutely atrocious. And if you were here for last season, you watched them, you saw how bad it was when T.J. Hockenson got hurt. I mean, after T.J., you got Brock Wright and James Mitchell coming off a knee injury. Like, it ain't looking good. So the fact that we do have Devin Funchess, it's depth. I like it. Gives you another receiving option at tight end. But again, I wouldn't give your hopes up, Neal. Or not you specifically, but people in general.
Well, good. And look, I know people lost their minds on social media, and we saw like thousands of likes and the obligatory welcome home tweets and stuff like that. But I just want people to temper their expectations with it, because it is a lot, like you said. He played one game in 2019. That's the last time he played enough. And I know he was on practice squads and things like that. But, this kind of fits the mode of a Brad Holmes signing, right? In the now.
Yeah.
Where there is no
risk.
Yeah, there's no risk whatsoever if it doesn't work out, and it's over.
Yeah. I would argue low risk, potentially high reward. And that's kind of where Brad Holmes has been, that's how he's been operating this offseason. DJ Chark, another one. Re-signing Charles Harris, you got him for a 2-year deal. Like, that's high reward, low risk, only 2 years. So Brad Holmes has been operating. I've never seen a GM operate like Brad Holmes. I mean, in my lifetime, and you've been saying this, Terry's been saying this. So it's amazing to see it. And I like the move. I just think when people, the welcome home, like, this isn't like, it's like
people think Bron's coming back to Cleveland.
I was just going to say that. It's like Bron's going back to Cleveland. But I get it. Just temper your expectations, because we don't even know if he'll officially be on the roster. Guys might not play on a tight end position, but again, I love it.
DMAP Zoom says, "Let's go crazy. One time go." DB Coop 25. Just don't call it a Tebow experiment like Easy did. LOL.
He didn't call it that, did he?
He did.
I love Easy, but that's no.
He's saying like he thinks he's just a training camp body kind of guy. He's gonna go in there, and I was saying how he played tight end at Michigan, so he was like, yeah, it's kind of like, he instantly backtracked on it. He was like, yeah, that was a little much.
Okay, then yeah, he's fine as long as he acknowledged it, because when you look at it initially, Tebow, that's a body. Like, Funchess is a body, but he could end up making the roster and playing.
Yeah, Funchess has done it before. He's played tight end at a high level. He's played in the NFL at a pass catcher spot at a high level. So
right,
it's not Tim Tebow at all.
And I think, and you guys, look, I'm extremely confident in our audience here for the most part. I'm extremely confident in our audience, and you guys are coming through for me here on the YouTube chat thread. Tom Sloan says, "I would be surprised if he makes the roster. He's a China doll."
Surprised if he makes the roster, like Brock Wright, James Mitchell. Like, I mean,
yes,
he's better than those guys. I get it's been years, but.
Where are you at with it then, Jeff? Where are you with he played one game since 2019, and now it's a lock to make the roster,
no,
Jeff Iafrate?
I don't like he's a China doll, like he's a body at camp. That opinion I don't agree with. But I think
so. He's going to be here. How many passes is he going to catch this year?
I don't know. I think he'll see some time. I wouldn't doubt it. I think for a guy who's played at a high level, I get it's been 2-3 years. He didn't play the COVID year, and he hasn't been on a roster really since. But definitely, I wouldn't just call him a China doll.
And like with me, we all know, Detroit guy, Michigan guy. We saw, Joik, when Joik played for the Lions, when he scored, he did that. Imagine Devin Funchess catching a touchdown, hitting the blade Icewood over there. That would be so awesome to see. The fans would go crazy. Like, I hope he makes the roster. It's good for him. Good for him to be back home. Good for him to get another opportunity. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and there is a lot of sentiment of that. MSU Detroit fan, prove a deal basically, although probably won't make the week 1 roster. Lewis M says, I don't want to see any big name signings right now. Big names mean big money, and we don't need that. And Lewis, I think you and I are on the same wavelength, but the reason I'm on that wavelength is I'm going off of what I'm seeing from Brad Holmes, is there aren't long-term big money deals being signed. And I'm going back to it. It's because we're not to that exit on the highway yet. We're not. I know everyone wants to go. I know. And we got a little bit of that here on the shows. You do shows across the platforms. Yeah. I'm sure you see it as well, where people were lock, stock, and ready to go, man. Let's go out there. Let's sign all these guys and stuff like that. Again, this is my statement on Brad Holmes. Yesterday on Twitter, yesterday on the show, 2 weeks ago on the show, tomorrow on the show, next week on the show. This is the sign that it's different. This is the sign that it's different.
Absolutely.
Trey Flowers isn't in here for $55 million. I love it. I love it.
I love it too. I love a GM that actually operates at a professional level and can operate like the other, great organizations in the NFL. So I can respect that. And I respect the high. I wouldn't call this, high upside, but there's definitely some upside. Like, this is a guy that can come in and contribute. I'm not going to sit here and say he won't. I just want people to understand that there's a chance he very well just might burn out and not make the roster. But there's always, I love the upside though.
And like Sean Murphy's in the chat, he said, your boy Sean Murphy, he said he's a storyline to make Hard Knocks. He has a hometown storyline. I'm not sure much after that. And that isn't a point. I didn't even think about that, because that would be a big Hard Knocks thing. Like, Detroit guy coming off injury, ready to play for the Lions. But as you said, yeah, he's done it before. And if he can get back to what he was, he was a red zone threat. He was a red zone weapon with Cam Newton. So if he can get back to that, we all know Hawkinson has struggled staying on the field all year. So if we got a guy like this that we can put behind him, or think of a double tight end set in the red zone with Devin Funchess and TJ Hawkinson, like, those are big bodies you could throw out there, throw jump balls to. He's good at that 50-50 ball. So I'm excited. I hope he makes the team. I really do.
And I don't like that thought of signing a guy simply because of Hard Knocks. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Well,
like,
Brad Holmes isn't doing that.
No, you're not gonna. I like his storyline. He's from Detroit. No, you're signing a guy for what the fit and what he can be.
We got that from half court beef going right now, baby.
Yeah, Sean, I love you, but I disagree with that one.
Yeah, that's pretty nonsensical. Neal Ruhl, second furnace. If Funchess doesn't make the roster, then who does? And that is an interesting question. But when you look at their breakdown positionally of the money, with TJ Hawkinson obviously, $6.5 million. The next highest paid tight end on the roster is Garrett Griffin, and then Brock Wright. And it only gets worse from there. Trust me. There are 7 tight ends on the roster right now. There won't be, obviously, when training camp ends and the season gets ready to go. But I will say this: I'm big on reading tea leaves and things like that. This does make me lean towards them signing Hawkinson long term. This move here with Funchess, and I'm not saying he's going to make the roster or anything like that. He's not going to be tight end 2 or anything like that.
Right.
I'm not saying that. This suggests to me that you're taking a shot, a easy shot, nothing that's a big salary commitment or anything like that. But you're taking a shot to see if you have a lower priced option that would allow you to stretch that positional spending, and you could pony up for Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the tight end depth is just terrible. I think that's why I like the move. Like, and I went through the, guys behind TJ Hawkinson. Like, it's atrocious. Like, I get Brock Wright had some plays, but Brock Wright is not your tight end 2. I'm sorry to break it to you, Lions fans. I'm sorry. And if you look behind him, James Mitchell, I get it. You took him in the draft, but knee injury, right off a knee injury last year. So Funchess has an opportunity, and I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be tight end 2, to your point, but certainly see playing time. So I think it goes back to Brad Holmes. He's operating at just a different level, and a level I can appreciate, because to go out and just take a flyer on a guy like Devin Funchess, I can appreciate that, no matter if it works out or not. Just the what happened, just looking at the news itself, I respect it, and I'm good with it.